New businesses are what I work in all the time. And I have started companies in the past. I worked at the Wharton School, the University of Pennsylvania, in their Small Business Development Center, helping people in Philadelphia build new businesses, local communities. I also worked overseas as a strategy consultant for Accenture, one of the largest consulting firms. I worked across Europe helping different banks figure out how are we going to sell more, reduce costs, how are we going to mitigate risk. And there's a whole bunch of things we can talk about in that. And then your eyes will start glazing over, everyone will start getting a little sleepy. And we're not going to do that. What we are going to do is to talk about RVA works. We're going to talk about the difference that we make in communities, in people's lives. And then we're going to talk about the programs that we have. And then I just want to hear your questions about that stuff. Because I know that Dr. Perry Rivers sent me some questions, so I want to make sure that we cover those things as well. So in RVA Works, as I said, we're about new businesses. There are some people that do things in growth businesses, in Main Street businesses, in large businesses, mid-sized businesses, all sorts of things. But RVA Works is about new businesses. So when we started looking at Richmond, we said, boy, we have some problems here. Right? This is about issues in management, this class, right?
Right.
So we said, boy, there are some issues that we have that we can help ameliorate through our work. So the first thing that we said was, we want to have a place where we are the best when it comes to startups for the greater good. And when we started thinking through that, that sounds great, right? How do you do that? And so we had to develop our strategy. Just like any other small business, any other new business, any other large corporate business has to have a clear strategy on this is exactly what we want to achieve and how we're going to get there. Knowing, of course, that that will change. If we don't have any plan, then we're not going to go anywhere. So we set out our strategy and said there's 3 things that we want to do. We're already executing on 2 of them. And it took us about 8 months to get that strategy down. And we said, okay, first thing that we need to do is we need to have strong outreach into our under-resourced communities. And we want to provide a way where anybody within the region that has an idea that's viable, and we see the passion in that person to see it through, we should be able to allow that person to build that business. We should be in the business of helping that person build their business. So we developed something called Entrepreneur Institute. We use a curriculum called EVO, which was developed first in 1966 in New York. And we've seen about a 70% graduation rate from the people who come in. We've seen that on average, people who graduate and then launch their business, people who come through the program, it's about twice the national average. National average is about 20-25% of people will actually start the business once they finish up. Our alumni launch rate is more than twice that. And for every business that we start, 2 jobs. One for the founder and another job. That's on average, how that works. So we have alumni that are coming through. They finish up this program, they get a mentor, finish up a business plan, get their business up and running, and then we're able to provide access to new learners. Because they put the legwork into doing it. So that's one program. Second thing we said was there are a lot of different service providers helping new businesses around Richmond. You know, and they've been doing a lot of really good work for a long time. So what can we do to help? Well, aside from filling this gap that I just explained, we also know that we can provide help with connections from across these different service providers, and for any individual business owner who's in the city or around the city, it's difficult to navigate. We're coming out with our report tomorrow, and there are 56 organizations providing new business support services around Richmond and the surrounding 3 counties. So we said, boy, we have to allow people to access that information quickly so that they can see, if I want finance, here's who does that. If I want a place to put my business, okay, this is who actually does that. So we put that information out there, and we said, but there's more to connection than just getting that information. The other thing that we have to do is we have to be good at bringing people together under one roof, because when we're starting up a new business, we need the connections to other people that are doing that. Mainly because I need to have sales. If I'm selling something, I need to have people to whom I'm selling, and because I need to have access to a new supplier, or to a new creditor, or it could be to a new employee or a business partner. So we developed a program called 1 Million Cups. Actually, it was developed by the Kaufman Foundation. Anybody heard of the Kaufman Foundation? Okay. So Kaufman Foundation, leading national foundation in the area of entrepreneurship and innovation, based in Kansas City. And so they have this national program called 1 Million Cups. It's in over 60 cities around the country. And we said, we should have it in Richmond. And now we do. Through a team of 6 people who are volunteers, they said, this is important enough for me to be engaged in the business community that I want to come down and donate my time to help make this happen. And so now we have this program up and running. VSU at the art school has donated some space. We do the coffee, which basically means I'm the guy that goes to Walmart and makes the coffee. And we have people come together to talk about a business that they're starting. But importantly, the entrepreneur who's coming, it's not a competition. It's not a pitch asking for money. It's about startup businesses coming in to support one another. And then the third thing that we're doing is looking at differentiating Richmond as a great place to start up a business. And we're currently developing a new accelerator which will help leverage some capital, investment capital, in some new technology or new innovation that's going to make a difference when it comes to a challenge in the developing world. 95% of the global customers are outside the United States. And so the accelerator program is saying in those countries, low-income, middle-income countries, there's a lot of challenges in water, food, sustainable housing, education, healthcare, climate change. Huge challenges. And so we have technology and innovation here in the Commonwealth that we can use to help address those challenges. And so we're putting in place the mechanism by which we bring those entrepreneurs in. They're given an opportunity to develop that technology. People like Will Carell, who said, hey, I have this idea, and this is going to make a difference. And we want to provide the support which helps that business get up and underway. And so some of that is about office space, but much more of it is about connections and about capital in order to get that running. So that's, in a nutshell, what RVA Works does.